What's up, family? It's your favorite thumb with eyebrows, Cool Rich, coming back to you. And I know that you haven't seen me in a while. It's been some couple of weeks. I just wanted to give you an update to let you know what was going on because I believe in transparency. Y'all my people, and I wanted to let you know, what was going on the back end. Pause. I had to make sure I paused that because that was crazy. So one thing that I've been kind of dealing with is that uh, my mom has cancer. My mom was diagnosed with stage four cancer back in December of 2023. Well, she wasn't diagnosed technically. She wasn't even made aware until January of 2024. So there's a whole situation behind that, but just staying on topic. So we've been trying to figure out, different ways, methods of getting her cured and, beating the cancer and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it's been extremely aggressive. So my mom has been in the hospital over the last month, and it's been kind of crazy. As far as the emotions that you deal with when it comes to cancer and seeing your family member, especially your mother, out of all people, just go through so much and the pain and trying to stay as strong as possible and not being able to do things for yourself as you normally would. It's a lot, man, because cancer deteriorates your body. It attacks your body until, you know, you're no longer functioning. So it's been pretty aggressive on my mom to the point, she had to be in the hospital for the last month. She's supposedly, well, she's supposed to be getting released today. So, um, and we'll just have to figure out different other care options, or hopefully we'll find some clinical trials that will be able to help assist. But it's been a crazy situation. It's been a crazy whirlwind. So yeah, it's been wild because you have to come to some hard conversations, some hard stuff. It's a lot, man. Like it's a lot. Like I've cried a lot. Like you talking about the emotions that you get behind it, boy. Because one thing I don't know about a lot of people, and I've kind of learned this going to the hospital so much, that everybody doesn't have a strong support system, and everybody doesn't have that same love to want to have them visit in the hospital or anything like that. If you've and I'll try to insert some pictures and stuff, but if you've seen like the stuff that my mom received, my mom's her, her room in the hospital was filled with flowers from everybody. Like I'm talking, every time a nurse comes in there, when our nurses switch, like I've never seen a room with this many flowers and all this stuff. Like Jesus, you are loved. My mom is a very loved individual. So, and I find peace in knowing about her introducing me to God as a kid. So I understand in this situation. I understand the hard parts. You got to go through the valley, and just like in the book of Job, you go through those hard times, right? And I don't know how many of y'all are religious, spiritual, or anything. Well, I don't like dealing with that whole religious, spiritual stuff because I feel like spirit. When people say that they spiritual, is kind of to me a cop out, and it's not to go into anybody's own specific beliefs. It's just more so based upon the foundation that they don't want to they don't want to uphold the Christian values, but they want to use the basis and the foundation of Christianity or just religion in general, but then use that as the foundation and basically say, okay, I can do stuff without having to be accountable towards the rules and the things that you have to be structured in, to be genuinely walking in that faith. But and this isn't any like, and I know I diverted a little bit. It's just how I look at certain stuff. But when you're talking about the Book of Job, and whether you're spiritual or religious, don't really care. If you look at the Book of Job talks about how the devil and God had a conversation, and The devil told God that he only praises you. He was talking about Job. He only praises you because you give him everything. Job was rich. He had everything that you want: family, kids, money. He was wealthy beyond all means, right? He was great. He was in a very well off situation. But God told him it doesn't matter what you do to him, as long as you don't take his life, he will still praise you. And even though the devil took almost everything from him, like took his kids, took his parents, I believe, took his crops, took all this stuff, and his wife asked Job, why don't you just curse him? Just curse him. That way all the bad stuff will stop happening. Because all you had to do was all the devil told him all you had to do was pretty much curse God's name, curse his name, and uh, everything could go back to normal. Job wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't. And he said something that was extremely profound. Now, I'm not saying this word for word, but he said, is he not God in good and in bad? So, yeah, we go through hard times. We go through these trials and tribulations. We go through the valleys. We go through all of these different parts of pain. But you understand that there's also triumph in a lot of these things too. You figure it out. You understand that everything isn't in your control sometimes. And a lot of times you got to leave it in God's hands. Those doctors, and I could tell you to an umpteenth degree about the stuff that they, the missteps that they had with my mom, in which I'll set that for a separate video. But I just wanted to let y'all know why I haven't been making any content, because I've been focused in on real life situations outside of fragrances, firearms, and everything else. Family. That's where I've been focused at, and with my family. Trying to make sure that my mom is able to see me get married, so that way we can have that mother son dance, stuff like that. Her being able to see her her first blood grandchild, because like I said, my mom loves so many people, and so many people love my mom. She done adopted multiple grandkids already, so she got like 3 or 4, 5, 6 grandkids that's like adopted grandkids. But as far as her grandkids, her from her own bloodline, I want to make sure that she has that. So yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of tell y'all what was going on and what's happening, why I haven't been making any content. And, I'll try to make some content while I got some availability today, because I was just there yesterday. I had to leave yesterday afternoon, uh, handle some business and stuff. But because I put a lot of business on pause last week, because it was just a lot going on within the last week and a half, couple weeks or so. So yeah, just trying to figure out the best things for my mom. And if you still have your mom, just like I still have my mom, make sure you go and hug on her, love on her, and everything else. Trust me, you will not regret it. Because on some real stuff, and it's a hard thing to say, um, going in that hospital so much, you kind of see that a lot of people don't mess with their parents like that. Even some of my friends that be making statuses on Facebook, like I be like, bro, y'all don't understand, but maybe I just don't understand they situations they play. I don't understand what they went through. I have an angel for a mother. My mother has always been so caring, selfless, has been one of the sweetest people that you could ever meet. Now she'll get on my head, she'll get on my brother's head all the time. She'll get on anybody's head, to be real with you, because she's a thorough old school lady. Straight up and down. Like, she's been in the church all her life. She ain't with all the riffraff. She ain't with all the tomfoolery or all the buffoonery and ignorance and all that stuff like that. But she ain't no pushover. My mama, she a thug. But she a Christian thug. You know, a lot of different parishioners, a lot of different people from out of town. So many different people just came in to see my mom. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, they was even trying to say couple weeks ago that she only had days to live. You feel me? So when you dealing with something real like that, man, when you get a phone call of somebody telling you that your mom only got days to live, boy, your whole heart sinks, your stomach sinks, you ain't hungry. You understand if you ever seen that Biggie Smalls movie where bro said, I don't want to talk or I ain't feel like talking, that's how I felt. I just didn't feel like talking to nobody. Because I didn't want to snap on nobody. I didn't want to be short tempered or anything. I don't want people asking me stupid questions or making stupid remarks because I know that I already don't like stupidity, but I know that right now my patience level is very, very thin. So knowing that, I try to give people grace so that way I don't lose my own self. So y'all continue, and I hope that y'all pray for my mom, pray for my family, as we try to find a cure for my mom, so that way, my mom be able to be around her grandkids and be able to be at their events and stuff and love on them the way she wants to love on them. Because, like I said, my mom has already adopted a bunch of different grandkids, so and the way that she spoils them, every time somebody brings up me about to have a kid, they be like, "Oh, your baby finna be so spoiled," because they just know like how my mom and dad is. They love family and they love their kids, but they dang sure gonna love on their grandkids. So I got one of them type of families. So I'm praying that if you don't have one of those type of families, I hope that you do come to get it at a later point, or if y'all are able to make amends, try to find it. Because once that situation hits a permanent end, it's a lot of regret that you're gonna have. Like, and that's just the real. That's just the real. So try to fix whatever it is. I know everybody parents ain't great. They not. But they still your parent. They still gave you life. And I hope that before their life ends, y'all can make an amends for your own life's sake. Because trust me, that level of peace will do you a lot of good. As far as me and my family, I already know how God gonna work. And I know I love my mother and my mother loves me to the umpteenth power, to infinity and beyond. And that'll never change. So I hope that y'all take it easy, man. Shoot. The emotions, y'all. It's the emotions. But but y'all stay cool. Y'all stay rich. Stay blessed. Peace.